Yo, what's up, YouTube? So, I'm kind of in a neck brace. I ain't even gonna lie, shit sucks. But I'm gonna come in, make my first YouTube video. So this is gonna be about skipping. You probably read the title. I'm gonna throw probably a few clips in there and show you guys how I skip, where I skip, what I skip into. And I'm going to give you a little bit of my knowledge, tips from me, how I do it, what I use, and where I typically do it, and the conditions that I do it in, and what I do it with. First off, let me get my baits out. I'm just gonna get out two of them. Well, all the baits that I skip with personally. And what I think is the best to skip with. Yeah, pretty much. These it ain't much. There ain't much to skipping. There's only a few baits that you really can skip with and skip good and get in them hard to reach spots. So I run a 610 medium heavy. I was running a 6.6 medium, and that was working really good. I'm trying to get better at skipping. Since I broke my neck, I've been out for 2 weeks. I haven't been skipping that much. I'm gonna get back into it, and I'm gonna do it a little bit better now. I'm gonna go full-fledged in this YouTube stuff. If I could do it on TikTok, I could do it on here. Kind of sounds dumb the way I say it, but just bear with me now. So, how I skip and what I skip with, well, really what I skip with, I like to use 1/2 ounce, either football or just normal jigs, like a, okay, I'm gonna get out 2 different jigs I skip with, and then I'm gonna go on to my swim bait, my swim jigs, and all that bull crap. Okay, so, let me. So this is a 1/2 ounce juice jig, and the reason that I prefer these over anything else is the curved front, flat bottom. That's about the perfect combination for a skipping jig. I like to use flat baits, and then whenever it comes to football jigs, I like to use 1/2 ounce, and then I use Bandito bugs, sweet beavers, and that's about it really. And I skip with these too, but I ain't got very many of those. This is the only one I got left. But yeah, I like to clip my weed guard right pretty much where the hook point is almost, and then I trim this down to be about to where they come out about right behind the hook, and that gives you about the best presentation in the water. I've heard shortening up your bait you could skip better. It's probably the truth, but I like to keep mine a little bit bigger, because if you rip them or tear them or mess the end up, you can just bite your end off. You can shorten up the presentation. Another thing is I use a chatterbait with a rounded bottom or a rounded tungsten head. This is a 1/2 ounce. Most of the stuff I skip with will be a 1/2 ounce. I skip with swim baits and Bandito bugs, beavers, flat stuff, because you can't skip that great with something like this or something like this or this. It just don't work the way you think it's going to work. Paddle tails are really good. Swim jigs, they are freaking great, especially if you throw on one of these bastards. Oh man, they skip like a dream. I usually run with fluorocarbon or braid. Sometimes mono. I'm running mono because I can't get a hold of fluorocarbon right now without having to order it. It's whatever. But yeah, I always love freaking skipping jigs. It's what I learned to skip. You can skip with like tubes and other stuff like that, Texas rig, but you're gonna have your best bets with these. It's gonna be a little bit harder. You're gonna bird's nest a lot more. Just get you a bigger spool of line. Like I got right here. I got about 3 miles of line here. You ain't running out anytime soon, I can promise you that. Try not to go for cheap line either. That stuff tends to bird's nest a lot more. You want, okay, it depends on your height. If you're like 5'7" to like 6 foot tall, you're gonna want a 6'6" to about a 6'10" rod. It's the best for you. You got that skipping action, well, that skipping motion and everything in your favor. You're gonna want to skip with a bait caster because you can control your line with your thumb. You can't really skip with a spinning combo. I use my spinning combo specifically for like Texas rigs or baits I can't cast the best with my bait caster. So yeah, you're gonna want to go for a better brand or a better quality reel and rod, because it's about the only time where your budget will go up in price, because that's what you're gonna need and that's what you're gonna have to use. So yep, but I hope you guys got a little bit of tips from this, because I'm trying my best here. I'm not the best at this, and nobody's really the greatest, but here I haven't trimmed this one up yet. I'm gonna show you guys how I basically trim these things up. You wanna sit here and look at it. Most of the Googan base is gonna be pretty evened out on the skirts, so you're not really gonna have to mess with that too much. But come on. Okay, so you want to measure about how much is out past your hook. You're going to want to take it, flip it over, you're going to grab that skirt, and you're going to pull it down. Take you a pair of scissors. And I like to just kind of go like this right here. Then you look at it, it's still too far. Take it, you're going to want to trim another 1/4 of an inch off there, because you don't want to overdo it, you don't want to underdo it. That's pretty good right there. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to overdo it like too bad. It's not that important when it comes to skipping, so you don't really got to worry about that too much. And your weed guard is going to kind of help your hook setup, but usually with Googan baits, their stuff's pretty sensitive. But you want to kind of use your finger, measure out how much you need to cut off, take your scissors, and bam. And I mean, that's basically it, really. Chatterbaits with swim baits or a flat bait, swim jigs with a swim bait. Those are good. Those work the best whenever you're learning to skip. But when it comes down to skipping, you're more than likely always going to be using a jig and a crawl. But sometimes you're going to be doing like docks and stuff, and you're going to want to use these to get those hidden bass. And some of my colors that I use, I got a green pumpkin and purple. I got a bandito bug pearl, summer craw, and Alabama bug. Well, Alabama craw. Those are meant because you cover every kind of color that you're ever gonna see in the, well, you're ever gonna need in the water. So you got like a good crawl pattern for down here, and you got a green, kind of covers your I guess fish colors, and then white, that's good for like murky waters, and then the purple is good for murky waters too. And I always throw black and blue whenever it comes to like lakes and stuff like that that kind of got a little bit of a murky water and got a lot of grass in it, because those things stand out the most, and that's what I've really caught fish off of more here in Missouri. But sometimes you got those fish in those clear waters that you're gonna have to use one of these. So yeah, hope you guys learned a little bit from this, and take it with you. Please like, comment, subscribe. I got YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, all the same name, 417 Fishing, 417 Mo Fishing, 417 Missouri Fishing. Somewhere along those lines you should be able to find my stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys learned something. Signing out. Peace out, guys.